If nothing else on this channel, I'm being honest, and you're seeing what's really happening here. There might be a majority of you watching this that are like, I just want to see your chickens, man. I want to see you build pig stuff. But I think there are maybe a few of you folks out there that might be able to get something from knowing that if you're experiencing funkitude yourself, you're not the only one. There you go, folks. I'm Sean the Modern Yeoman. Let's talk. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update on all the goings on here at the Homestead. I realized that I didn't put an episode out this past Sunday, which is unlike me, and I didn't want to go an entire week plus without talking to you guys, giving you an update, and giving you the scoop on everything that's happening here in the homestead. Before I get into it, though, as I'm walking here, I'm looking at these field peas. So as some of you guys might remember, in these 3 beds, they were empty. I set them up at the end of last season. I set them up because we're going to start growing in them next season, and I filled them with a cover crop, a mix of buckwheat and field peas. And the buckwheat died off like I expected it to. I actually mowed it, I think sometime in late fall. I can't remember when, but I mowed it down and it died, and I'm using it to just cover up and mulch the beds. But the field peas that I threw in the mix, the cover crop mix, they took off, and we've been getting a hard frost nearly every single night, and that doesn't affect these guys at all. I didn't really do too much research into the field peas. I kind of threw them in there at the suggestion of the guy at the garden shop I go to here in Knoxville. And he said, throw some field peas in. Those make a great cover crop. Didn't think much of it. I did it. And they've been growing quite well through the cold season here and all the frosts we've been getting. I don't know if that's a good thing. I don't know if that's what I want in a cover crop. I kind of want them to die at some point and serve as mulch and compost and sheet mulch, essentially. But for what it's worth, it's kind of cool looking at them and seeing how well they're growing in this cold weather. The things you find exciting when you start homesteading. Also, I'm supposed to be having a serious talk here, but I keep getting distracted. Lucky, I think, might be a rooster. If you can see the difference in size between Lucky and Fighter, our current rooster, Lucky's bigger than Fighter at this point. It's insane to see them next to each other. The thing about Lucky we're still holding out hope that Lucky may be a hen is because he or she, there's no comb, there's no cock-a-doodle-doo. Lucky is getting along just fine with Fighter. There's no fisticuffs between them. They're not fighting with each other, which if there were 2 roosters, you'd think there'd be a problem. Lucky's pretty young. If Lucky's a teenage rooster, then he might be kind of getting his footing into things. But I don't know. If Lucky's a rooster, will we have problems with 2 roosters in a relatively small flock? How many chickens do we have? 19, 20? That's not a lot of chickens. So too many roosters? I don't know. I'll keep you guys updated. But as you can see, Lucky is quite big. So I guess we'll see what happens. As a YouTube host, I feel like I'm obliged to do one of a few things. First is to instruct you in some manner. YouTube University, these are probably the most common and practical type of videos on YouTube. How to replace the alternator in your Honda, how to build a chicken coop, how to grow turnips in your climate zone, things like that. I think that's probably the #1 reason I use YouTube, that and to follow my friends' homesteading channels that I like to watch. But it's to learn things. And typically my videos don't fall into that category. Typically I fall into what I like to consider to be the second category, and that's to entertain you somehow. Bring a smile to your face. Take you out of your own life for 10 to 20 minutes twice a week and show you where we're at on our journey. Our triumphs, our failures, the life on a homestead, just kind of taking you along the ride and hopefully providing some entertainment for you. I think there's a third path as well, though. And that's maybe providing some encouragement. Maybe that's a type of entertainment, but I think encouraging you somehow, or maybe providing some kind of edification for you, is maybe something that I might be able to pull off every once in a while. And it might tie into what I've kind of been going through these past few weeks recently. Some mental blocks, some yo blocks. The modern yeoman's yo blocks. I've been kind of going through some things, and me talking about them on this video serves two purposes. One is to kind of tell you what's going on, and two is to, like I said, maybe give you a little bit of encouragement while I talk about it. So, by the way, it's hard for me to be super serious here because I'm surrounded. You can't see it, but there's chickens surrounding the tripod as I'm talking. Let me get out of here. They're following me around for some reason. They don't want to see me go. They want to hear me talk, apparently. The first block that I've been dealing with is a kind of discouragement. I'll be honest, the past few months have forced me to stop and sit a little bit when it comes to the homestead. And I do not like stopping and sitting. Those of you that watch the channel may think this is a little bit funny because the whole conceit of the channel is, the motto is slowly, slowly. And here I am implying to you that things aren't going fast enough and therefore I'm discouraged. Well, it's true. We're getting pigs next year. We're actually talking about getting turkeys as well. And there's part of me that's discouraged that we don't have them right now, that we aren't getting the ball rolling right now. I've had to take a step back these past few months for a variety of reasons. Some financial, some emotional, some mental, and it hasn't been easy for me. I'm a person that likes to move forward. Even if it's slowly, I like to move forward at all times. And the fact that I've had to stop a little bit has not been good for me. And so that's affected my output, both here on the homestead, the stuff I'm getting done, and here on my YouTube channel. And so one thing I can tell you is that if nothing else on this channel, I'm being honest, and you're seeing what's really happening here. The homestead isn't growing as quickly as I'd like. This is true. We were able to get a lot done this year. We got our egg chickens, we got our meat chickens, we got the garden productive, all things to be very proud of. There's also a little bit of side guilt as well, because when I'm not doing crazy things or working on crazy projects, the output on the YouTube channel isn't as exciting. Again, I take a small amount of solace from the fact that at least it's honest, and at least you're seeing a real picture of the journey of two people that used to work corporate but don't anymore. They work for themselves now, and they're trying to make a go at self-sufficiency as much as they can. And as much as that buzzword has been bandied about in the past few years, they're actually trying to make an honest go of it. It's not easy, but it's worth it, and it's hard. So there's some discouragement around this. These past few weeks, I've been working on starting up my side hustle. For those of you that watched the episode a few weeks ago, I'm starting a business where I'll be taking photography, video, drone photography, drone imaging of real estate, land, things like that. It's something I've actually gotten gigs for. It's something I feel I can make a decent amount of money at. It's something that would be flexible and still allow me to work as much as I want here in the homestead and still allow me to do the YouTube channel. But it's required that I sit in front of a computer and work on building out a website. I sit in front of a computer and work on getting a social media presence going, get a portfolio together. It's a lot of sitting in front of a computer, and that's another thing I don't really like. It's funny because the business itself, I'll be out there, I'll be outside, I'll be doing things, I'll be active. I won't really be sitting in front of a computer all that much, but getting the business set up, I'm sitting in front of a computer a lot. I don't think that's good for me psychically, so I guess that's another block. Second issue, just to be completely honest with you guys, I've been in a bit of a funk mentally, emotionally. And it's something that will happen occasionally, a fugue state that will come over me every few years. There are some other factors that may be contributing to this particular funk. We don't need to get into those factors, but just made it a little tougher to deal with, to process. And so I want anybody, there might be a majority of you watching this that are like, I just want to see your chickens, man. I want to see you build pig stuff. But I think there are maybe a few of you folks out there that might be able to get something from knowing that if you're experiencing funkitude yourself, you're not the only one. All of us go through periods of what Winston Churchill called the black dog, depression, funk, whatever you want to call it, downtimes. And that's something that I've kind of been wrestling with, and I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be all right, but it's made it harder to focus on the things I want to focus on. At the end of the day and at the end of this video, I just want to let you guys know I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep working on the homestead because I love it. I'm going to keep working on this YouTube channel because I love it. I've made a lot of friends and have started a lot of really valuable relationships with you guys through this channel. And they mean a lot to me. I'm not stopping either of those things. I took a break this past Sunday because I needed to. That's okay. I may take a few more breaks this month because I'll need the time, and that's okay. I'm spending a lot of time working on something that's probably pretty boring to film, and that's sitting in front of a computer getting my side hustle set up. So I wanted to let you know. I wanted to give you that update on what's going on with me, what's happening. I still envision a very exciting 2022. I still got a lot of plans for it. We still have a lot going on. Ultimately, I want to turn this channel into a resource for people that truly want to, I don't want to say go off grid, but they want to make a sincere effort at being as self-sustainable as possible. And I'm always somewhat hesitant to use that term just because it's a buzzword and it can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And when I say self-sustainable, I don't want to imply that we're out here like hermits all by ourselves, because I've found a lot of value in the community that I've been able to work with here in the area. And those are some of the videos you guys have seen of me working with other homesteaders. That's a huge part of this, and that's part of what I want to showcase. What I'm talking about is I want people to see the honest journey of people who are raising most of their own food and are in charge of their own finances. They're their own bosses. It's not an easy thing to do. It's something that I think is absolutely worth it. It's something I wouldn't trade for the world. It's hard. And I want people to see this and have hope that it's doable. If you want to do this, you can. You can make it happen. You can work for yourself. You can raise your own food. You can grow your own food. You can make it happen. There will be varying degrees of difficulty involved with this endeavor. And I just want to showcase everything that comes up. I want to document it. And that's what this is doing. So if nothing else, when you watch this, you're watching honesty, the ups and the downs. Sometimes I may come across as a little contrived, fancy editing and crazy graphics and scripted lines and stuff like that. And other times I want to be just very forthright and honest with you. And this is one of those times. The whole point of this video is to say I've been a little scattershot this month. I've been a little scattershot these past few months, and maybe offer you a little bit of insight into why that's going on. Regardless, you'll be seeing more of me. I want to do a December homestead update and walk around. I think that'll be the next video. I talked quite a bit about the progress Dad is making inside his house, and it's insane. You guys really have to see it. I'll be showing that. But I felt, like I said, kind of compelled to get this out into the world. This may be a big swing and a miss. I don't care. I'm glad I'm putting this out here. If for nothing else, my own benefit, so I can look back in the future and see how far I've grown from this. So until I see you guys this coming Sunday, remember, as always, slowly, slowly.